Hi, everybody. It is May 12th, and that makes today the very last screencast that some of you will ever see from me. Maybe, unless you're in my classes next year and we start the year digitally again. But some of you will be taking the AP exam, and I will have more review stuff posted on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week to help you kind of ease into taking that AP exam. First of all, don't forget that tomorrow is the day that second period, you're going to be taking your final graded timed right in my class. It is the last requirement for the class for you to do. And I've got the times listed below this, remember, or above this on the announcements so that you know when that opens up for you. Second period on Wednesday. Fifth period, you don't have to check in tomorrow to AP Lang & Comp because your graded timed right will be on Thursday, and the time for that is listed as well. So make sure that you're aware of that. I will send out reminds like about 15 to 20 minutes before the timed right opens. Now it's going to be just like that practice timed right you did last week, where you're going to have exactly 45 minutes to do the timed right. This time, I am not going to let you resume it. So you have 45 minutes from the time it starts to the time it finishes. If you want to practice like writing it on another Google Doc and then copy and pasting it into the answer part of that, you can go ahead and do that. But you can also type directly onto it. One thing that you should know if you're taking the AP exam is that you won't be able to type directly onto the entrance spot for the essay. So maybe if you did that last time, maybe this time you want to practice writing on a Google Doc and keeping your eye on the timer and copy and pasting that in. Okay, so yesterday we talked a little bit about pre-writing activity. Now I want to review for you the body paragraphs of the timed right. And we're going to, in order to do that, we are going to go to our Schoology from yesterday, and I'm going to have this written again today. So the strategies, focusing on writing a paragraph of a strategy. This is kind of like those practice things that I've been having you do, where you read a paragraph and you decide what's the purpose of that paragraph and what rhetorical strategy is being used and how does it fit with the purpose. It's exactly what the paragraphs of a timed right should be. So we're going to look at the practice passage that I had you look at yesterday, which is The Horizontal World, Deborah Marquardt's 2006 memoir about growing up in North Dakota. So this is another one of those how does she characterize the upper Midwest? The reason I had you look at this yesterday, and the reason I wanted you to look at the other one, The Great Influenza, how does Barry characterize scientific exploration, is that I wanted you to be aware that even though 90% of the time the AP exam will say, how does the author develop his purpose or his argument and leave it really open like that, 10% of the time it'll be something like this. How does the author characterize X? And so that's why I wanted you to look at those so that you're really careful in reading the prompt when you do take the AP exam. So this one is another characterized one. So we're going to look at of this place right here, from here, line 15, all the way through line 45. And the characterization that we're using here, there's two different types of characterizations that we can do. Number one, we can say that Marquardt characterizes the people of the Midwest as being innocent and strong and sturdy. And we can characterize the Midwest itself as being like uneventful, a place where nothing happens, kind of like devoid of any kind of life, I guess. Okay, now that's what that section kind of does, but the rhetorical strategies that she uses to do that are actually very similar. She's using references to a lot of different things. First, she makes references to like contemporary things that we're used to seeing, contemporary pop culture, contemporary culture. So TV news anchors, TV dramas, innocent female characters in TV dramas being blonde, fresh-faced, and Midwestern makes their descent into ruthless behavior in places like Los Angeles and New York all the more tragic. So we get allusion to contemporary culture. Here we get literary allusion from Sylvia Griffith Wheeler's poem Earthlings, where women look like people who will not trade their bleaches and soaps for anything. Now we're going back into like contemporary popular culture, at least in the time period, 2006. So Garrison Keillor's Lake Wobegon, it was a radio show, Prairie Home Companion on NPR. And then we've got Fargo. So here we have this whole section here is kind of like contemporary and literary allusions in order to show us what the people of the Midwest are like. So when you're writing about that, you want to take a look at what is the strategy. So the strategy that she's using to characterize the people as being kind of an innocent, fresh-faced, but strong individuals is contemporary allusion and literary allusion. How does the author use it? Well, the author refers to us to TV news anchors, to female characters in movies, also refers us to a piece of poetry, and also refers us to a movie itself, Fargo, and a radio show. Why is it successful in achieving that characterization? Well, here are different things from all different parts of society. We've got just well-known like TV news anchors and characters in movies and things like that. We've got a well-known movie, Fargo. We've got a radio drama, Prairie Home Companion, and we've got a poem. My gosh, like she's basically touching on anything that maybe her audience might have some familiarity with. So the allusions to all of these different things, whether they are known or not known by all of us, really help the audience make a connection between the type of person that is characterized by the Upper Midwest. So it is successful because it gives a whole bunch of evidence that supports what she's saying. Does that make sense? So when we're writing that paragraph, each of those paragraphs, we want to think of what is the strategy? How does the author use that strategy? Why is it successful? And connect it to the purpose. So, or connect it to the thesis. So if the thesis is that the people living in the Midwest are characterized as being innocent, simple folk, then we got to connect that at the end with that, and we have to do it clearly. If we want to take a look at another section of this, so this is starting from line 35 to 45, despite its easy inclines and farmable plains, the region was equally unimpressive to its earliest ancestors. Now, there's a number of times where she uses something that kind of means unimpressive. So she says, you are driving a road so lonely, treeless, devoid of rises and curves, it will feel like one long-held pedal steel guitar note. So no unchanging. A region that spawns both tornadoes and Republicans. Then we've got unimpressive. And then the way that Major Stephen Long's survey historical evidence that she's using here describes the region as a dreary plain, wholly unfit for cultivation, depending upon agriculture, uninhabitable by people depending upon agriculture for its subsistence. Dubbed the area between the Mississippi and the Rockies and the Great American Desert. So there's a lot here that talks about it being unimpressive or uninhabitable, or nothing very good comes out of that. And so what I want you to think about for that is, how is that being done? Well, here we have historical evidence, right? Edwin James, the official chronicler of Major Stephen Long's survey, declared the region. We have that. Here we have Edwin James dubbed the area. Here we have Jefferson's idea of rectangular. So we've got all of these different things that kind of come out there. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I want you to always remember to think about writing What is the strategy? How does the author use it? Why is it successful? Today, I'm going to want you to take one paragraph from this rhetorical analysis pre-writing practice, one section, one strategy, and write a paragraph. It is practice. It does not count towards your grade. So if you want to do it on your own and just practice with it and not turn it in, you can do that. Or you can turn it into me so that I can take a look at it and see what you're actually doing and kind of answer your questions if you have them on it. Okay? All right. So don't forget, tomorrow you're tuning in if you're in second period, and I'm going to be giving you a timed write on a retired passage. It's going to be one that I suspect is closely linked to maybe what they will be testing you on this year for the AP exam. There will be no screencasts. All you'll be doing when you log in, there's just going to be the little to-do list, and then there's going to be the assignment. So you just go to town and do that assignment. You'll need 45 minutes of uninterrupted time to do that timed write in. Remember, March 17th, you had a certain grade in the class. That grade will remain your grade as long as you complete all of the things that I have dubbed essential. This timed write is one thing that I have dubbed essential. So even if you don't score well on it, you will not score in the class below that grade from March 17th. And most of you were at A's or B's on March 17th. So I don't want you to get your knickers in a twist over this one. However, those of you who are planning on taking the AP exam, do your best on this timed write so I can help you with what I'm seeing and what some of the things that we're going to be talking about next week is what I saw in these last two time writes and kind of try to help you improve those as you're going into taking the AP exam. Okay, everybody, that's it. And I've enjoyed being your teacher this year. This semester has been weird. I feel like I haven't seen you at all because I think we were only together for maybe 4 or 5 weeks in there between my surgery and then this whole coronavirus thing. So hoping that everyone is doing well. Take care of yourselves. Have a great summer. Stay out of trouble. Be nice to your parents. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can feel free to email me or send me a remind at any time. Say bye to my kids, Brayden.
Bye.
All right. Take care.